The Frog Prince. Long ago, there lived a young princess with golden hair who was so beautiful that the sun would smile whenever it saw her. Often, the princess would smile back, but sometimes she would shout, "Stop being so hot!" You see, while the princess was usually very nice, sometimes she was not as friendly as she could be. One day, the king gave the princess a ball. It was a golden ball. She loved her new ball. She played with it every day. One warm and sunny afternoon, the princess took her golden ball and wandered into the nearby forest, a place she had promised never to go. She began to play, tossing the ball into the air and catching it in her hand. The ball went up, the ball came down, up and down, and then she missed. Plunk! The ball fell to the ground. Splash! It rolled into a nearby spring. Glug! It sank into the cold, deep water. "Oh no!" cried the princess. She looked into the deep water, but she could not see her golden ball. The golden ball was gone. The princess began to cry. Louder and louder she wailed. Suddenly, a raspy voice called out, "Excuse me, princess, is something wrong?" There, in the spring, with its big head stretching out of the water and its thin arms reaching over the rim, was a frog. The princess jumped back. She did not like big heads. She did not like thin arms. She did not like frogs. Being very careful not to get too close, the princess told the frog that she had lost her ball in the spring. The frog smiled politely, told her, "I'm a very good swimmer. I would be happy to swim down and find your ball for you." The princess still did not like frogs, but maybe this frog was not so bad. Maybe this frog could find her golden ball. "Can you really bring back my golden ball to me?" the princess asked hopefully. "I can, indeed," replied the friendly frog. "Then perhaps you can do a favor for me," he added. "What would you like?" asked the princess in surprise. The frog replied, "I want to eat with you. I want to sleep on your pillow. I want to be your friend." Now, Princess did not want to be friends with Frog, but she did want her ball back. So she promised to do what the frog had asked. However, the princess knew she would never keep her promise. She thought to herself, "A frog eats bugs. A frog sleeps near the water. A frog could never be my friend." Of course, she did not say anything to this frog, and the frog did not know that while a promise is a promise, this princess sometimes made promises she did not keep. So with joyfully heart, he dove in to find the missing ball at the bottom of the spring. Down, down, down he went to the bottom. Up, up, up he came to the top, and the golden ball came up with him. The frog proudly dropped the ball at the feet of the delighted princess, and she quickly scooped it up, merely skipped away. She did not even thank the frog, and she certainly did not intend to be his friend. "Wait," said the frog, "please come back." But the princess did not come back, so the sad frog jumped back into the spring. The next evening, the princess was eating dinner with her father, the king, when they heard a strange sound. Pletch, plotch, pletch, plotch. Something was climbing the palace stairs. Then a raspy voice called out, "Princess, it's me. Please open the door." The princess did not want to open the door, but her father wanted to see who was there, so she opened it. Quickly, she slammed the door shut. The king could see that she was frightened. "My child, what is it? Who is at the door? Is it a big, mean monster?" The princess shook her head and replied, "It is not big, it is not mean, it is not a monster, it is just a silly old frog." The king was puzzled by the appearance of the frog at the castle door. So the princess explained how she how the frog had retrieved her golden ball from the spring, and how she had made him a promise in exchange for his kindness. "And what did you promise?" asked the king. "I promised he could eat with me. I promised he could sleep on my pillow. I promised I would be his friend, but I will not." The king was shocked. "Dear daughter, I have always taught you that a promise is a promise," he told her. "If you said you would be his friend, then you must be his friend." So the princess opened the door and allowed the frog to hop in. The frog asked to eat with Princess. He asked to sleep on her pillow. He asked to be her friend. The princess was filled with dread. How could she let this slimy frog sit beside her? How could she watch him eat with his long sticky tongue? How could she let this goggle-eyed creature sleep on her pillow? How could she ever let a frog be her friend? She could not do it. She would not do it. The frog would never be her friend. The king sternly reminded her, "A promise is a promise, and this one you must keep." The princess pouted, and she knew deep in her heart that her father was right. So she let the frog eat with her. She let him sleep on her pillow. The frog was nice and polite, but she did not like it at all. Early next morning, when the dark was graying into daylight, the princess heard Frog jump down from her bed and hop away. She hoped he would never come back again, but he did come back. The very next night, again he ate with her. Again he went to sleep on her pillow. Again Frog was nice and polite. At this time, the princess did not hate it so much. Early next morning, when the dark was again graying into daylight, the princess again heard the frog jump down from her bed and hop away. She wondered if he would come back again, and he did come back the very next night. Again he ate with her. Again he went to sleep with her on her pillow. Again he was nice and polite, and this time she kind of liked it. Early next morning, the dark once more graying into daylight, as the princess waited to hear the frog jump down from her bed and hop away. As she waited, she found herself hoping that he would come back again that night. The frog jumped down from the bed, but this time he did not hop away. This time was different. This time was magic. The moment his webbed feet touched the floor, the frog was transformed into a handsome young prince. Now the princess was glad she let him eat with her. She was glad she let him sleep on her pillow. She was glad the frog was nice and polite. Most of all, the princess was glad that she had kept her promise to be his friend. Then the princess and the frog prince made one more promise to each other. They promised to live happily ever after, and they did. After all, a promise is a promise.